Well, good afternoon, folks. Good evening, and thank you very much for coming to this, which is the second public session that the Berkshire Alliance for Sustainable Energy has sponsored here at the Berkshire Community Hall. We're especially grateful that you came out tonight and braved this slightly hot and humid weather with us. We couldn't do much about that, and we appreciate it that you've come nonetheless. I wanted to let you know that there is plenty of ice water and tea and lemonade and drinks like that in the back, so don't be shy. If you need some, please help yourselves. There are cookies and things as well, but I expect the ice is going to be the big draw tonight. My name is Larry Bush. I'm a resident here in Berkshire. I'm one of the two moderators tonight, along with George Lohman, who may be known to many of you as well. George is a longtime resident of the village here in Berkshire. We're pleased that you, as I said, that you came tonight. We have an exciting program, which we think you're going to find extremely interesting. There are a couple of administrative matters that we need to go over at first, as one does at these sorts of gatherings. First of all, the emergency exits are behind me on both sides of the building, as you know. There is a door immediately in the back on this level, and there's a door that you can use to exit down a flight of stairs on the west side of the building. So if you just can't take it or the heat overcomes you or whatever, that's how to get out of here. I'd like to take a moment to thank the good folks from the Berkshire Community Association, who once again have allowed us to use this facility, which I think is one of the most delightful buildings in the town of Berkshire. And notwithstanding the heat, that we're delighted to be here tonight. Wanted to tell you something about what's on some of your chairs. We've designed a little exit survey tonight, which we would be grateful if you would complete and turn in as you leave. If you don't have one and would like one, there are copies on the back table, and there will be copies on the front tables if you're exiting toward the street. We would be grateful if you would turn those completed surveys in as you go out on the tables in the front. And I think Bruce says that you can keep the wonderful pencils as with our compliments. In addition to the drinks and the snacks on the back table, there are handouts. Both of our speakers tonight have prepared handouts, which we encourage you to pick up at the close of the meeting. I think they'll be Oh, okay. Somebody's way ahead of me. So anyway, if you didn't get a handout, they'll be available at the end of the program as well. We also, if you're interested in signing it, as you know, if you came to our first meeting, one of the things that the Berkshire Alliance for Sustainable Energy is doing is we've been petitioning the community slowly, or circulating a petition. Folks who wish to sign the petition, which is requesting that the town board impose a moratorium on gas drilling until things are clearer about its effects, both good and bad, for this particular community. Okay, the only other thing I wanted to mention is that we have the two speakers, as I indicated. We will, time permitting, be having a question and answer period, and to make sure that the both speakers get the necessary time. We're asking you to hold questions until the end of the program, and then feel free to ask questions of either speaker. All we ask is that, as is customary in cases like this, that people ask questions, not make statements. That people ask questions that flow from the speakers' presentations, because that's all the expertise they're claiming here tonight. And of course, that we hope that all of this is done, and we certainly hope that we up here act in a spirit of complete respect for everyone in this community. Whether you think that hydraulic fracturing will be good for us, or whether you have serious concerns. We're all neighbors. We all live here. We're not in the business of trying to make any enemies in the activities of BASE.
Good evening, everyone. The Berkshire Alliance for Sustainable Energy, or BASE, is a group of concerned Berkshire residents who would like to help our community benefit from clean, sustainable energy. Independent studies, that is, not paid for by the oil or gas industry, consistently show that natural gas is neither clean nor sustainable. Our immediate goal is to provide information and stimulate community discussion so that a decision about natural gas drilling can involve the whole community. Our long-term goal is to organize a community-wide plan so that residents of Berkshire and surrounding communities who are interested in solar energy can benefit from the latest technology, subsidies, and group rates.
Notwithstanding what some folks seem to think, nobody, at least nobody we know, gains financially by opposing hydrofracking. Our group and our speakers are here because we're concerned about things other than money, our quality of life, and that of our community. As you would have seen if you were here before, and as we explained, our programs don't present the pro-gas point of view. That's not our intention. Perhaps some of you, as I did, attended the program last night by the Tioga County Landowners Coalition. They're presenting, as they should, they're presenting the point of view of the folks who think that gas drilling will be good for this part of the world. We respectfully disagree with at least everything that we've heard. But I want to make one thing clear. We are not here, and we do not intend to try to bamboozle you into being afraid of fracking. Those of us who are active in the Berkshire Alliance for Sustainable Energy came to our views about this individually and as a result of considerable personal research. We, as would you, I expect, resent misleading half-truths, attempting to slander and smear people, and attempting to present things as true which don't seem to have a factual basis. All of our programs, we are trying as sincerely as we can to present actual hard data and facts based on what's actually been happening. Without taking too much time, because it's not the point of this program, let me just urge you, and I'm speaking particularly to our friends here who are really hoping that gas drilling occurs in this area. I would plead with you to actually pay attention to some of the things that are going on in Pennsylvania right now. And I can cite 3 things that are all data-based. The first is a report that came out in May in the Scranton Times-Tribune, which fought the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection in a Freedom of Information Act case that they won in the Court of Appeals and forced the DEP to turn over records. Those records indicated that there were at least 161 cases where the DEP had cited oil and gas companies for damaging water supplies for Pennsylvania citizens. I mean, it's all documented in their official DEP records, and I'd be happy after this to give you a cite to it. I mean, it's not something anybody who hates fracking is making up. It's just what's happened. I'd also cite you to the June release of the Duke University study, which surveyed 141 homes in northeast Pennsylvania where there's hydrofracking, and basically cutting to the chase, what it found was that the overwhelming majority of homes within a kilometer, which is a little more than a half a mile, of a well, their well water was contaminated with methane, propane, various other things, which, based on their studies, had to be a result of the mining activity. They weren't the sort of naturally occurring ground methane that we hear so much about. Again, if you're interested in that, I've got sites for it. Don't take my word for it. You shouldn't take my word for it. Go find out for yourself. And then finally, I'll mention this because it's astonishing as it's growing. There's something called a list of the harmed, and there's now a Pennsylvania-specific listing of these incidents. They're incidents, all of which are documented either based on news reports or television interviews of people in Pennsylvania who either they or their animals or their water have been harmed in some way. And there's a range of harms, but that list is growing every day. There are 333 entries on it. Every one of them are documented. And again, don't take my word for it. I can show you where to find it. You can look at that. You can see what you think, make your own judgments. But please be fact-based about what's really happening in the Pennsylvania fracking. Okay, I wasn't supposed to do a sermon, but I did a little one anyway. Let's now move on, and George will introduce our first speaker.